Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up Cosmic Crucible Edition. We're broadcasting from Pathfinder's cellar where he feeds me nothing but oatmeal. Pathfinder was on voice today helping me go over the new rules to Crucible. We have been talking a lot about this on stream, so if you want to join those conversations Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, you can be there live in chat. I will try not to skip over what you have to say. We discuss these things quite a bit now, and I'm really getting into Crucible and really loving it. And today we're going to be going over Deadpool's defense. They have set up a defense that is intent on taking advantage of the new season of Crucible rules. So please don't listen to this. Age of X will not be in play. This is not built for Age of X and the old rules. So you got to ignore that. I will be reminding everybody about all that stuff. So first up, we have team number one, which is the Gamma team. They've got great placement. They're going with a mostly healer setup, retaining the Raider ISO on Red Hulk for putting out vulnerables on his attacks. That gives 10% damage to everybody else who attacks into that. They'll never be cleaned up because there's no strikers. Now, in rule one, we have basically like the villain mystics and cosmic villain mystics and stuff are being, have speed reduction and resistance reduction, and like Heartless Strange gets bleed on serve and everything. So that affects like a Hela and the Darkhold team and Dormammu and stuff like that. It doesn't affect this team at all. Now, one thing we did talk about is if you want to, you could take this team and move them into room 3 as fortifiers. 3 out of the 5 of these, that's Abomination, Brawn, and She-Hulk, open up with their ultimate and have lots of positive effects, and they would be spreading them all over the place. So this is actually a good team that if you want to try out that fortifier ISO, throw them over there, and then you could keep Red Hulk and Green Hulk as a Raider and a Striker respectively. I know he's a healer right now, but you could make him a Striker and get a little more damage potential out of the team, or just make them healers too, or something to do. But this is okay. This is fine. I'm going to give this team an A. It's done really well. Team number 2 is the SA Kestra with Shang-Chi in here. We don't really like this team. It's a little bit too small to be holding on defense. It's not really that scary, and it's a better tool for offense. It beats more teams than what can beat it or whatever. I don't know. Just use it on offense. This is not something that's really that good. By the way, Deadpool is in Plat 3 at 12 million, so a little bit smaller roster. Maybe this is what they've got to work with, and if that's the case, that's all right. We do have the proper ISOs, decent placement, all that. Actually, no. On the placement, I'd like to either put Shang-Chi or Kestrel next to Sam. Kestrel's really good at healing herself back up after taking splash damage, and Shang-Chi stops chain attacks from going through. Probably not going to happen on the counters that come into this team, but if we're going to split hairs, let's do that. For me, I'm not too excited to see this team on defense. It doesn't utilize a lot of anything anywhere, so use them for offense. It's going to be a much better scalpel than it will a wall. I'm going to give this team a B-. Moving on to team number 3 is the Young Avengers. Now in room 3, let me switch over here to room 3 so I can remember. It's not Spidermania, it's portable shield device. On defense, any fortifier that uses an ultimate ability spreads all positive effects to adjacent allies, and strikers gain some barrier and flip offense down into offense up. So the striker thing isn't such a big deal, other than it makes your strikers work a little bit better. Probably isn't worth changing people over to a striker ISO. However, the fortifier thing, like we talked about with the Gamma team, it's going to do really well in this room. This team, however, this is their native ISOs, all strikers plus skirmisher on Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is retaliating, and then it causes the triple hit combo out of this team. It's really cool. You get a ton of damage out of this team. You don't have to change their ISOs. You throw them in this room. They're always going to have they're either not going to have offense down, or they're going to have offense up, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage. So this is really cool. You don't have any fortifiers on here, so skip that. But if you don't have a team that you want to manipulate ISOs for room 3, this is a great team to toss in here because you don't have to change anything, and it just works really well. It's a good team for soaking up attacks and all sorts of stuff. So I like this in here. I don't have any problems with it. One of the main counters that comes into this is Dark Hunters. That's why I like having Miss Marvel in the middle. So if you try to, ability or disrupt her or something, and chains go different ways, stuff like that. So placement is fine. You could put her to the outside if you're worried about different counters. There's a lot of different ways to go, but it works. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and give this team an A- because I'd like to see them brought up into blue ISO. I still think that this team has a lot of value and it's worth taking them into the blue for if you can spare that ISO after you put the ISO where it belongs on your path to apocalypse or whatever your prominent build pattern is. Okay. Team number 4 is the Axemen, and of course in room 4, we're not talking about Age of X or Latent Power, we're talking about Resurrection Protocols. On spawn, hero mutants gain Revive Once and immunity. This isn't such a big deal. We talked about having Shell Shock from Age of X that a lot of people might overestimate this, especially with Phantom X bumping up this number. This team is actually more like 350. He has not hardly any synergy at all with this team. He isn't doing anything but raising up this number. So the best case scenario is somebody is going to overestimate this and overcommit to this team, and you'll draw a bigger team than what you were trying for. I don't think that's worth it. I think you're better off putting somebody else in here that could cause some sort of a commotion. I don't know what, but something. I don't know if we need to worry about the hero mutants regaining Revive Once. I think if you want to do that, the Dad Bros is probably a better team. That way they can get going and crit. Even if they die once, they're going to come back in with the same amount of turn meter. They could start critting again and get moving. So that might be a better team for this room. I don't think anybody should really be pushing the Axemen anymore. I think their day has come and gone. We've got better raid teams than them. They're not worth building it, especially with Age of X out the door. This team just does not do what it used to do. However, if you want to run this, let's take a look at it. I think the placement sucks. Bishop on the edge next to Iceman. Iceman's reviving once, even though he doesn't have the 5-piece team. He's still getting a revive from the room, so that's something. Then we could replace Phantom X with somebody else that's better. Maybe Kitty, maybe just, I don't know, Silver Surfer, some plug-and-play character like that. I don't know, something. Beast as a healer works better for when he's on offense because you can spam the heal button, but you can leave him as a healer too. I like running him as a skirmisher on defense. It's better for the callouts. And then we have Raider on Iceman, which is not a good pick. I think it should be skirmisher as well. Gives him a little bit of focus boost. Make sure that his slows land, reducing the resistance from the incoming team. And then if you wanted to, you could run Jubilee as a striker. So you'd have 2 strikers and all skirmishers. But honestly, I think Bishop as a striker, everybody else is skirmisher is the way to go. Don't build this team. It's past. The Age of X is gone now, so it's pointless. Don't build this team anymore. I don't think we should even be using this team here. I think we should just try something better. I think, honestly, a lot of people should just think about utilizing Room 4 as a Room 1 and 2. Just play it as is. Don't worry about it. The hero mutant thing isn't something we absolutely need to be taking advantage of. It's just a revive. There's a lot of things we can do to get past that. So yeah, I don't like the placement. I don't like the ISOs. I don't like the composition. I don't like the team. So I'm going to give this one a C-. It's just not exciting me in any way, shape, or form. Room 5. Room 5 is Creeping Spiders. When any Spider-Verse character has stealth, that character gains 20% damage. Reduce resistance by 20% for any character with bleed. This room may be updated in the future. As Pathfinder pointed out, all these rooms are going to be updated in the future. So Miles and Ghost Spider, no go. I don't like that. I don't like them in there here. I don't think they have any value. Who cares that they're Spider-Verse? They're not going under stealth. For me, I would like to see characters that utilize bleed. Maybe Hela and Zim might be an opportunity to use them with your Tangled Web team. I don't know. Maybe Lady Deathstrike in here would be a little bit better. Anybody, Morbius in here for fun. I don't know. And then Noir, please don't build Noir. Don't build him for this. Don't build him for 20% damage. He's just not a good character. If you already built him, sure, use him. Might as well take advantage of 20% damage, but please don't build him for this. I honestly, the spiders, they're putting spider in the words all the time, trying to get you to utilize stuff. This is a good place for your Tangled Web to go on defense. I think there are way better compositions than this. I will be using my Spiderweaver and friends on offense to counter things like this very efficiently. Something you could do with Hela and Zim in here makes it tricky. They come in, they accidentally kill a Greg, and then your team gets the speed and their team gets left in the dust. Even if they bring in a Emma, they could come in with Emma in the Tangled Web and accidentally kill a Greg. and then they're behind on the turn meter. So that's a thing you could do, but it also opens you up to speed meta teams. I doubt that's going to be a factor with Weaver in here. She's going to be messing things up too much. Lots of different ways we could go with this. Basically, I like your Tangled Web in here, and that's fine. I just want to see you replace 2 other people with just about anybody else. Maybe a pre-taunt tank to make it that much tougher to go after Weaver. Maybe some duo like the Eternals in here or something like that. Could be pretty scary. I don't know. You might also just think about changing up the speed meta by throwing in an Emma or an Emma and a Cable. It's up to you. We'll see how it goes. As for me, I think the ISOs are okay. You could consider going Skirmisher for Arena on 2099 and continue using it in Crucible, because landing his debuffs tends to be pretty important. But honestly, I think with him being in the teal, Raider is fine. I think that's a great choice. Critting, there's more crit stuff going on in Crucible, so that's a thing. And then Striker on Noir. I don't know, maybe make him a Raider anyways. Striker's fine though. I think he has something special with his passive. I don't pay that much attention to Noir because I think he sucks. So whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go with like a B+ on this team. I just don't like this Web Warriors in here. And room number 6. Room number 6 rules state that you must use Wakanda. That's the short version. They're getting such absolutely absurd bonuses in room 6 that we kind of have to use Wakanda. You'd be stupid not to. I mean, I know somebody's gonna prove me wrong with that statement, but I think we'd be stupid not to use our Wakandans in room 6 no matter what power level they're at. There is a thing in here that says non-tech characters clear charged on the end of turn. If charge is removed, apply defense down to all player characters. So you can't use Dormammu, you can't use Tangled Web, you can't use a lot, like anything that uses charged, man, you can't use it in here because it's just gonna put defense down on your team and they are going to light you up. So that being said, if we're all using Wakandans, I think that we use Killmonger in place of Nakia. Make sure that his T4, that his ultimate is T4'd. It's pretty valuable, especially in Crucible. Nakia is great. Nakia is great. But if you have Killmonger, I think you use Killmonger instead. For newer players, probably best to just build Nakia and save those resources unless you really want to go both ways on this team. I think placement, we need to change the placement up for sure. I like running Shuri in the middle and then keeping both my Black Panthers on the sides. But you could go BP, Okoye, BP in the front row so that it's spread out. We just don't want this clump of 3 over there with the 2 Black Panthers and Okoye. Those are the hot targets. We want to separate those. The ISOs are fine. The ISOs are fine. In fact, I would say take them up into the blue, build them up a little bit, utilize this team. I think it's a really fast, really powerful team in both War and Crucible, and you can use it all over the place just because they're so fast. It's a good team. It is. And now that we have to have them in this for this entire season, if there's ever a time for you to build up your Wakandans, it's right now, because this season is going to be all about how do we deal with room 6, or do we just skip it all together? For me, this team just needs a placement tweak. I would like to see those ISOs brought up a little bit better. So I'm going to go A- for this. Not too shabby. Deadpool, thank you for sending us your Crucible picks. Remember, if you want your defense to be featured on Defense Up, links are in the description below. You just send me the uncropped shots. We do war defenses as well, but most people are interested in Crucible these days. So don't just have a good game, guys. Be good to yourselves and others too, and help me get out of Pathfinder's cellar. Bye.